Hey guys, it's Topic Bricks here with another video. In today's video we're going to discuss everything LEGO Gringotts. As you guys probably know, the Gringotts Bank is one of the most desired sets in the LEGO Harry Potter community for LEGO to put into production. This is partly due to Gringotts being left out of the 2020 Diagon Alley set, which Gringotts is arguably the most iconic building of that street, so LEGO making the conscious decision to leave it out has given everybody the idea that LEGO has separate plans for this Gringotts set that we should get later down the line. So let's discuss what this set could potentially look like if it came to fruition. So like I just mentioned, a LEGO Gringotts set was expected to be included in set number 75978 Diagon Alley. So I think if we were to get one, it would be in the same scale as that, which as we know is minifigure scale. Now in terms of costing for a set like that, if we take a look at the direct-to-consumer Diagon Alley set from 2020, we can see that the retail price was $400, and that there are 4 modular buildings attached to each other, meaning that each building was worth in the region of $100. Now as we know, Gringotts is quite a bit larger than the other buildings, considering it towers over the rest of them. So a Gringotts set in scale with the Diagon Alley buildings would probably cost around $200 itself. But then you've got the question of, would it come with the Ukrainian Iron Belly Dragon, and would it then come with a bunch of minifigures? After taking all this into account, it wouldn't be too hard to conclude that a set like this could end up being around $300 in the end, which is probably why Gringotts and also Nocturne Alley wasn't included in the Diagon Alley set. It's one thing paying $400 for a set, but it's a whole different ball game when the set costs $700 or $800. And also, I still even feel that if LEGO gave us a Gringotts set like this, people would be disappointed that we wouldn't be getting any of the vaults. So I think LEGO would then later on have to give us a separate Gringotts vault set expansion to go underneath the Gringotts building set, which would host vault number 713, vault 687, maybe Sirius Black's vault, and of course Bellatrix Lestrange's vault guarded by that white Ukrainian Iron Belly Dragon. There's just so much potential for a Gringotts set and how it would be configured, and I do think that if LEGO were to go ahead and give us Gringotts sets, I want them to split it up into these 2 sections and make 2 separate sets. Set 1 would give us the Gringotts building, which is designed to attach to the Diagon Alley direct-to-consumer set. This would be attached perpendicular with the Diagon Alley set when both streets are facing each other. This is how Gringotts Bank is positioned in the film at the end of the street, and we even in fact have 2 Technic pinholes in this position, which sort of hints that this is something to come. I used these 2 pinholes to attach my entrance to Diagon Alley mock that I built the other week. Link for that Diagon Alley mods video where I go over that mock will be in the description below. The minifigures for this Diagon Alley Gringotts expansion set will be Harry, Hagrid, and a selection of goblins including Griphook. This version of the bank will be based off of the Philosopher's Stone, and the inside of the building will be predominantly taken up with the big entrance hall we see in the Harry Potter films, and maybe a couple of offices round the back. So that's set 1. Set 2 would be a little more exciting. Set 2 wouldn't come with any part of the building, it would be the underground section of Gringotts with all the minecarts and tracks as well as all the vaults I mentioned, and the Ukrainian Iron Belly Dragon. But the coolest thing about this set in my opinion would be the minifigures. We would get Bellatrix Lestrange, which is actually Hermione Granger, hopefully with skirt printing this time like we got in the 2010 Attack on the Burrow set, as the 2020 version of Bellatrix Lestrange didn't have any printing on her skirt at all. We would also get Ron disguised as Dragomir Despard, Griphook and Harry with the invisibility cloak, and also a few more goblins, and of course the blue wizard guards that we see in the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This way, the people who own the Diagon Alley set could buy the Gringotts building set to expand on their Diagon Alley, and skip out on the vault set, as obviously both configurations couldn't be displayed simultaneously. And the people who don't have the Diagon Alley set can go ahead and pick up both the Gringotts building and the vault sets to have one big awesome tacular LEGO Gringotts Bank display with all the minifigures and the dragon and everything. How cool would that be? And ideally, both of these sets would retail for around $200, $250 each, around that ballpark. However, I wouldn't get your hopes up. The LEGO Group has made 2 statements which are associated with a possible LEGO Gringotts, and well, neither of them are good news. The first statement is in response to the demand for LEGO Deathly Hallows sets because, as you know, LEGO so far has widely avoided making sets from those films. So here's what they had to say about that. For the first few years of the relaunch, we had a clear strategy of focusing on the first few movies, then to move on to the Goblet of Fire and the Order of the Phoenix. For 2021, we had a blank slate, and we got to look back at what we could do that's fresh to keep the franchise relevant. That's where we decided to go for a soft restart on the story, so instead of looking at specific movies, we decided to look at key moments. We reflected on what started the franchise, picking some of the strong sets and reinventing them to fit how we design sets now, as a love letter to the first sets. It's definitely not to say we won't cover the later movies at some point, but they do tend to be aimed at a higher age, which is why we target the first few movies. Our overall values are more in line with the first movies, where there's more magic and the universal theme of a wizarding school is more in line with our values. Now I do have a lot to say about this response, but I will save that for another video, otherwise we're going to be going on forever. Now, why is this important in regards to a LEGO Gringotts? Well, that's because the most iconic scene from Gringotts is indeed the escape from Gringotts scene in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. People want the dragon, they want the minifigures and the vaults, but this response regarding the Deathly Hallows from LEGO would seem to suggest that this option wouldn't be on the table. But I hear what you're saying. LEGO could give us a Gringotts bank set from the Philosopher's Stone, right? Well, unfortunately, the answer to that question is no. LEGO gave us a direct statement in response to calls for a LEGO Gringotts bank set, and their response was as follows. The designers said there's no current plans for future Diagon Alley sets, the YouTuber Bricks by Mind explained. The set was intentionally designed to leave possibilities open, and they said they were aware that there is one significant building missing from the set, which they are open to making in the future, but at the moment there are no plans to do so. The designers mentioned a few times in the interview that if fans want to see something specific, they should go to LEGO's feedback website. So if you do want to see a Gringotts set, I recommend you do that. It sounds like the designers are open to making a Gringotts set, so if the fans want it too, the LEGO group will actually make one. So there you have it. Bit of a letdown, isn't it? So overall, it's not looking good for a possible Gringotts bank set to be coming soon, but I do feel that the negative reaction the LEGO Harry Potter community had towards these comments may invoke a bit of desire in the design team and LEGO to go ahead and give us a Gringotts set. As they say themselves, they are open to doing it, it's just that at the moment there is no current plans to do so, so we probably won't see a Gringotts set in 2022, but I do feel that we will probably end up seeing it in 2023, as the demand for that set is simply overwhelming and cannot be ignored. It will definitely end up being a top seller for LEGO, I can be sure of that. So thank you for watching guys. If you want to see the video I made talking about a possible Shrieking Shack set coming in 2022, which I can assure you is a much more likely possibility than a Gringotts set is at the moment unfortunately, then click the video on screen now. Also guys, I will leave a link in the description down below to the Brick Fanatic articles who reported on these comments made by LEGO regarding Deathly Hallows and Gringotts sets, in case you wanted to read them for yourself. I've been Topic Bricks and I'll see you on Wednesday for another video. Bye for now.